Let me fucking scoot back a little so I don't punch the microphone.
Hey, come listen to our podcast, yeah. Please listen, it's a hitch. If you don't listen to our podcast, yeah, then you are a bitch.
Maybe that one.
Well, I'll make it work. It's much easier to edit it with two people anyway, because I can kind of use the gaps to kind of adjust where it is. When there's three people, the clap pretty much has to work because it's very difficult to get it all lined up properly.
Oh yeah, it definitely. I could only imagine how much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's why I edited the I was able to edit that Roger Rabbit episode so quick because it's it's just you two. Man, it sucks. I hated that I wasn't on that episode because I was like, man.
That movie's so fucking good. I'm sure you would have had some good points to make and shit, especially during some of the discussion we had where it was I was trying to think of fucking like I said, movies that had animation in it and live action at the same time, but I was literally coming up blank in that.
Yeah,
moment.
when y'all were doing that, I was like, well, right off the bat, I thought Space Jam, I thought Mary Poppins, I thought.
I would never have. I didn't even know that Mary Poppins had mixed animation.
Yeah, Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh yeah, and that's funny that I didn't remember that one because I watched that movie all the time as a kid.
Hell, even just a year or two ago, there's that Tom and Jerry movie.
Yeah, didn't they have the fucking Chip and Dale movie too?
Yeah, and that one was kind of weird because it was Chip and Dale are retired or whatever, or they're further past their prime after the Rescue Rangers and all that, and one of them still animated, 2D animated, but one of them went on to become a more modern TV star. So he got an operation done to be CG.
Oh yeah, I wondered why one of them was CG and one of them was 2D. When I saw
that's the
reason. Trailers and stuff. Okay.
And then Ugly Sonic is in that movie too.
Yeah, I know. They bring that back, the big meme.
But all right, so I guess let's get this party started.
Yeah, Evil dies tonight. I don't. Every time we do Evil Dead, I always just think of that for some reason.
Oh, well, they have their Evil dies tonight moment in this movie as well. But we'll
yeah, they do. That was when I laughed. That was when I laughed when I felt like I shouldn't have been laughing.
The Dead by Dawn.
Dead by Dawn. Dude, they love fucking Dead by Daylight, dude. Their favorite game.
So, yeah, everyone, welcome to Filmoscopy Podcast. I'll probably keep some of that, little bit of that in the beginning in. So, Lance is not able to join us today, so it is just me, Cody, and Owen.
What's up?
And as you probably know, because you clicked on this episode, unless you've just become illiterate in the time, you turned your phone on and went to the podcast app.
Or you're a baby and you're just randomly clicking shit.
We are doing Evil Dead Rise, the 2023. I would say hit film. I mean, it got great reception and made quite a bit at the box office.
Okay, yeah.
Its budget.
So the reviews are pretty positive for this then?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were a lot of people were raving about this movie, especially some of the performances. It seemed like generally everyone loved the character Beth.
Yeah, she's the sister, right? Not the little sister, but the
yeah,
aunt.
she's the heroine basically of the of the film. And,
yeah, I liked her too for what it was worth, and I thought she was a pretty good lead.
Yeah, and especially everybody loved Alyssa Sutherland as Ellie, which I do think that she is the highlight of this movie.
Oh yeah, she's really creepy. You could tell that whenever they did the casting call, they must have just saw her face and were like, okay, yeah. They saw her cheekbones and her eyes, and they're like, okay, yeah, you'll make a good Deadite. Yeah,
and she's got a very wide mouth too, which also helps add to the effect. It made me think of Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, right? because have you seen the It movies, the newer ones?
No, but I've seen the trailers and stuff, and yeah, he looks creepy. He looks like creepier than the Tim Curry one.
Yeah, and he does this thing with his eyes where like he'll like kind of like start making them go like slowly like spread, like start looking opposite directions, and it's something that he can just actually do. So it adds, it's just something that a physicality to it that he puts in that just adds to the performance.
The scariest people in the world, people with lazy eyes. Horrifying.
It's because they're looking in this realm and the next.
You don't know where. Yeah, you don't know where they're looking. That's the scariest fucking thing. There's this one dude who does these like really bad Twitch streams, but I guess they're supposed to be ironic. Where he like just plays like AAA games and tries to find glitches, and anytime he finds a glitches, he like freaks out like it's the worst thing like ever. He'll go like, "Oh my god, I can't fucking believe it! This game is trash." But he has like a lazy eye, and so it looks like he has two monitors. So I'm assuming he puts chat on one and plays the game on another, and I can never fucking tell if he's reading chat or playing or like looking at the game. Like, but he's pretty funny. I might send it to the group chat just so you guys see it. But it's all pretty stupid shit on there.
Okay. So yeah. This one I do think I want to get a little bit in depth with like the characters and some of the set pieces in the film, but let's start with some of the basic information, shall we? So Evil Dead Rise was released on March 15th 2023, officially at South by Southwest. That's where a lot of like the rave reviews were coming out of, and it was released in theaters proper on April 21st 2023. The film had a budget of somewhere between $15 and $19 million, and it brought in a box office of $146.5 million. Not too bad for a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
It was written and directed by Lee Cronin, which, for anyone who doesn't know, Lee Cronin has only directed one other film, and it is The Hole in the Ground.
That's such a funny title.
Yeah. So before we get into the cast, I want to talk about Lee Cronin for a second. So I did watch The Hole in the Ground about 2 weeks ago, in preparation for this episode. So it is I will say it's the only other feature film he has directed, because he did do a few short films and he's done some television stuff, but that's the only other major movie, or the only other proper film. So The Hole in the Ground, just as a premise, there's this, it takes place in Ireland, and there is a mother and her son. They move out to the Irish countryside, and one night her son disappears, and she goes into the woods looking for him, and she can't find him. When she gets back to the house, he's there, but she notices something is different, and she believes that a doppelganger has replaced her son. So that is like the premise of that movie. I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone who hasn't seen it, because that's not what this episode is about. But watching that film,
that sounds pretty cool. Like, that's interesting. Is this I can guess that this movie's is this movie an A24 movie?
Yes, I think it actually is.
We got him.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's A24. Let me look real quick. It was distributed by A24 in the United States. It was distributed by Vertigo Films in the UK and Wildcard Distribution in Ireland.
Okay, so not truly an A24 movie then.
Yeah, but it's just one of those movies that A24 saw, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it for you over here," you know.
Yeah. The
movie's not bad. It's not scary, but it's not bad. But I will say, watching it, it made me question. It's like, I wonder what they saw in Lee Cronin's work with that film that made them choose him for Evil Dead Rise. I mean, it worked out, right? But it's just like, it's just one of those things that it kind of makes you wonder, like, what the producer saw, like, oh, this guy would be perfect for Evil Dead.
Yeah,
but I do,
because I don't know, that movie seems like it'd be a lot more of like a subdued. I mean, most movies that A24 does this kind of horror are a lot more subdued, and where I would say Evil Dead is definitely very, I wouldn't say slasher, but like almost, well, not slasher, but it's definitely very kind of that kind of horror wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, Evil Dead, especially like this movie too. I mean, you typically it's like off and running, right? You don't have a lot of build up to what's happening. Mm-hmm. But the Hole in the Ground is one of those movies that it is kind of a slow burn for the first half of the film. So I do recommend people going to or watching the Hole in the Ground. If you have Max, it's on Max, or at least it was a couple weeks ago when I watched it. But I just wanted to briefly touch on that because that is like the one film he's done, other than this. And due to the success of this, it seems like they're going to have Lee Cronin work on the next film for Evil Dead.
Okay, yeah. So this has nothing to do with the 2013 one.
No, yeah.
Nobody on that worked on this or anything.
No, I mean it's the same producers, I believe. Rob Tappert is the producer, and of course, you've got executive producers like Bruce Campbell and gosh, I can't remember the other guy's name.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, Sam Raimi. God, I can't believe I forgot that.
Like, who's the only other person I can think of with regards to Evil Dead?
Yeah, it's Sam Raimi. It's like, I don't know why I went blank on that one, but yeah. So outside of that, like there's no real connection to the 2013 film. I mean, you don't even get a Bruce Campbell cameo in this film.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe that there would be one in the post-credit scene or something.
Yeah, because the 2013 one had him at the end just saying like groovy or whatever.
Yeah, he says booby.
But he did say after Ash vs. Evil Dead that he was retiring from playing the character on film. He did play the character or voice the character for the Evil Dead game that came out a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he's just truly done playing the character on screen, which is fine. This film being a kickoff for future films in the series is fine with me because overall I think this film is a good movie. Yeah. I mean, I like it too. I know you're more of a fan of kind of like the more horror Evil Dead than the comedy kind of goofball type stuff. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know where I sit on it really. I love Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is honestly probably my favorite Evil Dead movie. But I couldn't sit through Army of Darkness because it was too far gone. Yeah, Army of Darkness does go. I mean, I like Army of Darkness as well, but it does go like full on into the comedy.
Yeah, so I don't know where I really sit on the pig, but I don't know. Overall, I did enjoy this one. I thought it was pretty good. I'm surprised people didn't. I'm surprised the 2013 one was. After we did our episode on it, I kind of looked around and I saw that it kind of got. I wouldn't say terrible reviews, but it wasn't really like a critical darling or anything like that. It was a serviceable movie to I mean, it was good enough. Like I thought it was. Yeah. At least okay.
I mean, we talked about it. For anyone who wants a really in-depth discussion on that, Owen and I covered it on an episode probably a few months ago at this point. But
yeah,
I do think that a lot of it comes from Evil Dead being just a weird series, right? Where you basically have the same movie that was made 3 times, with Evil Dead The Evil Dead, and then you had Evil Dead 2, which was basically a remake of the first one, but also a sequel to the first one. Yeah. And then you had Evil Dead 2013, which was a reboot of the franchise, which took the story from the first one, but it also is not replacing the first one because it still technically happens in the same timeline.
Yeah, very not confusing.
Yeah. So I think people were just like, it's like, well, you've made this movie again, and a lot of people, of course, are like, well, I still prefer the Sam Raimi one, which, for anyone who listened to our Evil Dead 2013 episode, that is my favorite Evil Dead movie, without a doubt. Even after watching this one, like, that's still my favorite.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it is good to see that Evil Dead Rise came out, and it did have such, like, positive reception. If you give me just a second, I will bring up what I know we don't really look at Rotten Tomatoes as like the end all be all or anything, but
yeah. But I'm curious because I didn't even look at it after I was done.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, let me pull up the actual article so I have a more up to date number. So, based on 222 reviews, it has an 84%.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty good, especially for like a horror movie or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of horror movies, they're like middle of the road because it's subjective,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like people are looking for a specific thing out of
unless
horror
it's
film.
like, like what we were saying, like it's an A24 movie, those are usually rated pretty high. But if it's something like this, usually it's hit or miss.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's great. It has a 76% based on over 2,500 verified ratings on the user side. So even then, it's great, So let's get into the cast, shall we? So the movie basically follows, or it centers around this one family. You have Ellie, who is played by Alyssa Sutherland, as the mother of 3 children, who are Danny, played by Morgan. Danny, Bridget, and Cassie, played by Morgan Davies, Gabrielle Eccles, and Nell Fisher, respectively. You also have Ellie's sister, who is in the movie, who is Beth, played by Lily Sullivan. And then you have a few neighbor characters in this, because it all takes place in this apartment building, so you do have a few neighbor characters who appear. I'm not going to go into every single one of them because they kind of play minor roles.
Yeah, they die just as quickly as they appear for the most part. So
yeah. Bruce Campbell does feature in an uncredited cameo role. He's on one of the he's in a phonograph recording. He specifically plays the voice on the phonograph who is warning the priest about the ritual.
okay,
right.
So he is in there, dude. There it is. That's his cameo.
Yeah, but he's not.
Yeah,
Ash, right?
Ash is 100 years old.
Yeah. Apparently, in some interview, he did say that he looks at it as that character on the phonograph is Ash, but he's like shown up in a different time period, which I don't like to think of it that way because I kind of fucks with the tone of this movie.
That's so goofy.
Yeah, but it I guess it does have some sort of basis because that's how Ash versus Evil Dead ends. It's like he travels to the future.
Yeah, I guess
he
gets like a robot hand and shit too.
Yeah. But for the sake of this film, I don't like to think of it that way because it's just bizarre. Like the tone of this film doesn't fit with like a weird time traveling thing.
Can we? So this just popped in my head, and I got to get it out before I forget about it. So on the records, you know how the records are numbered 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I thought in my head as soon as I saw him pull up the record and it said 1 on it, and he put it on there, I was like, dude, it should just start playing like "Darkness imprisoning me, all that I see."
But yeah, so we've already kind of touched on it, but Ellie is I I would say that she's the main antagonist, or at least the primary Deadite in this film.
Yeah.
She gets possessed when, as we were just talking about, and you pointed out, what's his name? I already forgot. Danny. Finds these records because apparently there's like the apartment building used to be a bank, and they kind of just converted it into an apartment. And I guess the basement still has like an old bank vault in it. And
it's like really weird. It doesn't. I don't know. There's something about the outside sets of this movie does not strike me as LA.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
I mean, it fits the tone, kind of like. I don't know. It feels like you're in like some kind of dystopia version of LA or some shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so an earthquake happens. It splits the floor in the garage, and Danny sees that the part of the bank is still down underneath. So he climbs down there. He finds this box that has some records, and it has the Book of the Dead in it. I know in interviews they made a point to point out that in the Evil Dead canon there are 3 books, and this is one of them. This is the first time we've ever seen this specific book. So it's not the Necronomicon; it is the Book of the Dead.
It's a different one. What's the? So I know the first one would be the one that's in the cabin, with Ash. But what would the second one be then?
Could it possibly be the one from Evil Dead 2013?
I was thinking that, but
yeah, that's what I would think. Yeah, that's what makes the most sense, is the one from 2013.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one has a different design too. I noticed that because I thought it was just going to be like the one with the face on it and everything.
Yeah, so like this one doesn't have that face. It has but it does have like these teeth-looking things on the side of it. It kind of makes me think of the Monster Book of Monsters from Harry Potter. But yeah, so Danny, he finds the stuff down there. He plays the records. So I think this may also be the first time that we've had one of these movies where someone isn't reading the words out of the book, which thankfully it makes more sense than like Evil Dead 2013, where this dork it's like, oh, I'm just gonna. It says all these warnings not to read this, but I'm gonna read it out loud anyway.
Yeah, I did like the way they handled it because it felt a little less like you didn't hate the guy. Really,
yeah, because it's like
he was just curious. Because I mean, like I was thinking it over in my head, and I was like, me being there, if I had these 2 records, I probably would play them too, just to hear what's on them. But he did try to stop him, so I feel like that makes the character kind of redeems the character and makes it not some stupid horror movie bullshit that you tend to see.
Yeah, I think, and we kind of like mocked that and criticized that from the 2013 one, where it's like, oh yeah, there's all these warnings, but I'm gonna read this anyway.
He's like, dude, look at this. Yeah, this cool book that has like a picture of people getting flayed. I'm gonna read all the creepy Latin in it.
So yeah, once he reads it, the spirit kind of rushes into the building, and it just so happens that Ellie is on the elevator, going down. I think to do laundry or something, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
And she gets attacked by it. It also, in the elevator scene, it kind of has like a throwback or a nod to both, I guess, the first Evil Dead and the 2013 Evil Dead, where in those movies the possessed is attacked with vines in the woods, gets like tied up and held up or whatever, and in this one it's wires from inside the elevator itself. But thankfully there's no like really just unnecessary scene where like she's basically being raped by the wires or anything. But before we get too deep into the apartment stuff, let's talk about the prologue real quick.
Yeah, the cold opener that has to be in all the Evil Deads. Yeah,
so basically there's these people, they're at a lake. You get the shot. I think the first shot is the shot where you think it's like the spirit, vision or whatever, where like the camera's kind of like flying through this area.
Now,
And
so we're clear, and I guess any listener who had listened to our first Evil Dead from the 70s, I believe, for the 80s, would probably remember. I know Lance hated a certain film technique, and I know we were talking about it off. Is this what he's talking about?
Yeah, so this kind of like weird, like where it's like it's going pretty quick and it's like kind of like swaying all over the place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he said that, if I remember correctly, he said it made him feel sick when we did that first Evil Dead film. But yeah, it's a red herring, right, for this film, because it's actually just a drone with a camera on it, of course, but. And you see these two teenagers. I assume they're teenagers. They might be in their early 20s.
Yeah. I don't know. They don't look like teenagers to me. They do look like they're like in their mid 20s or some shit. Yo, so how do you feel about the Mortal Kombat thing? I'm kind of indifferent to it.
I am too. Lance keeps like swaying back and forth between the two.
I know. He's tortured by it.
Yeah, we were talking about it again this morning. I was like, dude. Even if Hanzo is not Scorpion, I mean, they're not going to just get rid of him as a character. Like, he'll be somebody else. Yeah. And, or
they'll just reboot the franchise again.
Yeah, I mean, well, specifically it's because it is a continuation, technically. And at the end of the last, like, the story DLC that they had for 11, Liu Kang says something like, oh, don't worry, they'll all be back. But Lance said that he had read something that it's possible that Hanzo is actually going to be Havoc.
That would be funny.
Yeah, so because they said apparently Havoc is in this, and he's a regular character or whatever before he becomes whatever the hell he is.
They should make him Shu Hao or whatever the fuck.
I don't know who that is.
The best character. They're bringing back Avocado or Moldavo or whatever the fuck his name is.
Are they really Movado? I think that's his name.
No,
right?
I think I'm having a schizo moment. I don't think they are. It's Otaru, I think.
Motaro, the centaur.
No, not the centaur. The fucking. Damn it! No, it's not them. It's one of the ladies from Deadly Alliance. That was
Lee May was announced. Yeah,
that's who they're bringing back.
Yeah, there's also talk of Natara being brought back as well.
Is she the vampire? Right?
Yeah.
Oh god, they all just blend in.
Well, I told Lance, I was like, there are two characters that they introduced in Deadly Alliance that I actually really liked as a kid. I thought were cool. Most of them they introduced in that game suck, right? They're just generic and boring.
I really like Cobra. He's cool.
Like Su Hao or whatever, that fucking general guy.
Yes, Shu Hao is in. Cobra's only in Deception, right? And
I don't know. See, I never played Deception and Armageddon.
Oh, really? Deception's
yeah,
pretty good.
The only PS2 era game I had was Deadly Alliance.
Shu
Hao. But the two characters from Deadly Alliance that I think are like actually genuinely cool that they introduced in that game are Natara and Kenshi.
Which of course everybody loves Kenshi because he's cool as fuck.
And Kenshi in MK1 is apparently a member of the Yakuza.
Oh, really?
Which is fucking awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. But no, I'm not torn about it. I told Lance, I was like, look, I'm getting it no matter what, but like, I probably won't get it day one. I very rarely ever get new Mortal Kombat games on day one.
Yeah. Fuck, you might as well just wait for them to release the fucking Ultimate Edition or whatever.
Well, the only reason I don't want to do that is because it'll be fucking 3 years from now before that comes out. You know,
yeah, I guess.
Usually I wait. A lot of times, like I'll get it like if it's on like a Black Friday sale or something. And then with the DLC packs, I usually wait till they go on sale before getting those. Which I don't know. Did you? I know we're on a bit of a tangent here, but we'll get back to the topic. Did you see the DLC pack trailer?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was kind of lame. I mean, I heard some people say that the reason they did it was because the leaks were already out and they just wanted to say, okay, yeah, here's the characters Let's.
Oh,
move
you're talking
on.
about while they went ahead and just did the trailer.
Yeah, before the
in
game,
general.
before we even know like what fucking characters are actually like in their
Yeah.
main roster.
That actually makes a lot of sense because you're probably right. They're probably like, look, and the trailer doesn't really show much. It's just like the characters like appearing, right? So
I mean, I still think it's sort of lame that they did that. Like, I don't know. Just from a PR perspective. I mean,
Right.
I knew they were going to have those characters, or not those characters, but I knew they were going to do, you know, a character pack. But just from a PR
Yeah.
perspective, to be like, oh, by the way, be sure to buy this fucking DLC when the game comes out.
well, it also helps promote because like if you buy the deluxe edition or premium edition or whatever, it comes with the combat pass. So like, it's also kind of a way of being like, hey, if you get this edition, these are the characters that are going to be added.
I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean, we don't even know. I guess I was gonna say like, you know, better than like microtransactions, but I mean, like, we don't even know what the fuck the main game's gonna have, if it's gonna have the same system as MK11.
What do you think? What do you think of those characters specifically?
I don't even remember who the fuck they were.
So there were 3 guest characters and 3 Mortal Kombat characters. The Mortal Kombat characters were Quan Chi, Takeda, which I don't think Takeda's ever actually been a playable character. And it's not Takeda like the son of
Takeda?
It's not the. You remember how they in Mortal Kombat X they introduced?
Yeah, he's a playable character in MKX. Takedo?
No. Taquito burrito. No, so there's a character in MKX named Takeda or whatever, Takahashi or something like that.
Yeah, he's the Shirai Ryu fucking hopeful or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, so it's not that Takeda. Apparently, this is the original Takeda that like founded the Shirai Ryu or whatever.
Oh, okay, so it's a different, but
yeah,
same.
And of course, we know who Quan Chi is, and Ermac was the other.
Oh yeah, I saw Ermac, but I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, because he looks like a fucking like zombie mummy.
Yeah,
like,
and they have the dude from that meme. He was like, "Think, Mark, think." I don't even know who the
Omni
fuck-
Man.
Yeah, that's him. And they have
Yeah,
John Cena.
Yeah, they have John Cena as Peacemaker, Peacekeeper, or whatever the fuck his name is, and then the other one is Homelander from The Boys.
Okay, that's who that is. I thought that
yeah.
was Shazam or whatever the fuck. I'm so out of touch with this shit.
Well, so I've never seen The Boys or Invincible, right?
Yeah.
And after they, I saw the leak of these characters a while back, and I was like, well, it's probably right because it leaked on like Amazon France or some shit. It's like, why would Amazon?
They said, "Oh, we have the characters."
Mr. Omni Man.
We have the only man is John Cena.
But so I'm like, well, after they did this trailer, I was like, I have, obviously, like most people in this damn country, I have Amazon Prime. So I was like, I may as well just give Invincible and The Boys a try because I've never seen them.
The Boys.
And I've seen Peacekeeper, whatever. I can't even remember.
Because did we watch Suicide Squad? No, we didn't watch
Yeah,
I watched.
Yeah.
We watched.
No, we did that for the show too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I remember we trashed that fucking movie, but looking back on it, I actually kind of like it wasn't that
No,
bad
I
of a
didn't.
movie.
I didn't trash it. I remember Lance trashed it a lot.
Yeah, I kind of joined in on it, but I think at that point I was just kind of like, I'm so fucking sick of superhero movies, dude.
Yeah,
Like-
I seem to. I think that is pretty much accurate. I think that was your attitude about it. But I liked it because it was like, oh man, like this is a James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. This is fucking awesome.
yeah, it was kind of fun seeing James Gunn not have any holds barred where you could fucking kill people and cut their heads off and shit.
Yeah, and they like straight up told him like, yeah, you can just kill whoever you want in this.
Yeah. Just looking back on the hot take we had back then.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously I've seen that, but then I also watched the HBO series they made, based on him.
Oh yeah,
Peacemaker or whatever.
yeah, I know they did that, man.
Yeah, and that show was actually really good. I thought it was like very well done.
I just hate John Cena, like as a person. I think he's a fucking asshole.
I mean, I used to hate him as a wrestler because I was like, as a wrestling fan, I was like always just fed up with like, John Cena's champion again.
Yeah,
He's
the
gonna be
most
champion for
boring
fucking
fucking guy on the planet.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna be champion for 15 months, so why even bother getting invested in anything?
And even I don't even dislike him for like really that. I dislike him because like the fucking China bullshit that he.
Yeah, the
like,
China thing was awful.
Yeah, he's like, you can totally tell he's just like a two-faced, like flimsy fucking, celebrity, just generic celebrity that has no opinion outside of I want more money.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the same thing. Like, remember, I think LeBron James put out a statement around that same time of like apologizing to China or something.
He
like
said,
that.
"I'm so sorry. Fucking, I'm an American pig dog, and Taiwan's not a real country, and the great fucking Communist Party of China will take over the world. Please accept my apology."
And it's because of their employers, right? I mean, John Cena is a Hollywood star now, and Hollywood really depends on China money in theaters. So
I think that's becoming less and less of a thing now, isn't it? Though.
Well, I don't think so. I think the thing is that there are a lot of movies that get made here that they just won't allow to play over there.
Yeah.
For one reason or the other,
Yeah, because they have one black character. And
yeah.
They're like, what the fuck?
Well, we already know there was like talk. There's been talk for years of like Finn was supposed to be the main character of the new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, China fucking hated him. He's supposed to get with Rey or some shit. At least that's my extrapolation. And I bet China was like, we fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, and basically by the time the third movie in that trilogy came around, his character was pretty much non-existent.
Completely fucking neutralized.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, anyway, back to the Invincible boys thing.
Yeah.
I started watching Invincible yesterday.
And is that the animated show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's animated. It's on Amazon Prime. That's what Omni-Man is from. Mm-hmm. And the main character's hero name is Invincible. Omni-Man. So it's interesting. Sorry, everyone, about this tangent.
That's fine.
But it's actually pretty interesting because it kind of sets up. There's like this. It's almost like a parody of DC. There is this group called the Guardians of Earth. I think that's what they're called, Guardians of Earth or Guardians of the World or something like that. And they are all basically just DC parodies. Like there's a hero who has water-based powers and lives in the ocean, but he looks like a fish man.
Yeah. And
there's a Batman parallel called Darkwing, and cool. So you get the idea. There's like the Justice League, but it's not the Justice League.
Yeah, and they're gritty. They're fucking gritty.
Well, no. Well, the show it threw me off because Invincible's written by Robert Kirkman, who, for those who don't know, wrote The Walking Dead.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Okay, yeah. So Invincible is a graphic novel or a comic book series, I'm not sure which, but it's written by him, and then he also writes the animated series. Okay. It threw me off because the first episode, for most of it, it's pretty clean cut, right? There's not any blood or gore or anything. It's, you get introduced to the Guardians of Earth and all that, and you're introduced to Mark, who is the Invincible character, and his dad, Omni-Man. And the whole idea is like Omni-Man is like a Superman parallel. Yeah. He came here from a different planet. He has basically Superman's powers, and Mark is about the age where he finally is developing powers of his own, and so he's trying to like teach Mark how to use his powers. So it's like, okay, this seems pretty cut and dry, clean cut animated series. And do you care if I spoil this first episode?
I do not care.
Okay. All right, everyone. I'm about to spoil the first episode of Invincible in case you care.
So cover your ears and go la la
la. The credits start, but then you hear someone talking, and it cuts to one of the Guardians getting an alert on their phone or on their watch or whatever that there's an emergency that they all need to gather. So it cuts to all the different Guardians of Earth as they're getting these alerts, and they show up at their base in like some mountainside. They show up and they're like, "Well, who called us here?" And everyone's freaking out because none of them called. And Omni-Man shows up and proceeds to brutally murder all of them. Like the first one he kills is like there's a guy named the Red Rush, which the Flash parallel, and he catches him and he puts both hands on the side of his head and just like squeezes his head until it just pops and his like eyeball is popping out and stuff. And yeah, so he is like, what the hell? Why did he do this? So I'm only on like the 3rd episode now, but I'm like, man, this is, and like ever since then, there's blood and gore like everywhere. So.
Yeah. I knew it was edgy. So when you were like saying like, oh, well, not really. I was like, well, I thought they have like fucking scenes where I've seen clips of shit like that. I'm like, dude, this fucking show is like edgy as fuck. Yeah.
So basically, it makes sense why Omni-Man was chosen for a Mortal Kombat DLC character.
Yeah, I guess he fits
right
in.
Yeah, and I've heard The Boys is supposed to be like very like brutal and gory and stuff too. So, but I'll probably watch that after I finish Invincible. Gotcha. But anyway, let's get back to this. So we were talking about the cold open in the beginning. Mm-hmm. There are 3 people at this cabin on a lake, and there's this girl, I can't remember her name, her cousin.
I don't remember. I just remember the girl who becomes a Deadite. Her name's Jessica. I remember that.
Yeah, Jessica.
I don't remember the other one.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name either. But
his name's Chad because he's fucking Chad. Why was he the only guy there, by the way? Like, is he fucking both of them or some shit? Like,
no, he's Jessica's boyfriend, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently she had invited a bunch of people up there, but no one else showed up.
Good. They fucking won out. Good call.
Yeah, very good decision. But yeah, so the first like kind of creepy, unsettling moment of the film happens when Jessica's cousin goes up to the cabin to check on her, and she's reading, and the Deadite, or Jessica / the Deadite, is basically reciting the exact words that her cousin is reading. She ends up ripping off her scalp.
Yeah.
And they end up making their way down to the lake where the boyfriend is at. And she goes up, she gets the drone, right? And she picks the drone up and like cuts her own face with it and falls into the lake.
Yeah, then he goes after her and he gets chewed up. Now this is the one this is the one outstanding issue I have with this movie's effects, is that blood effect in that water looked like dog shit. All right.
Yeah, it didn't look as good as it should have compared with a lot of other things that are happening in this movie.
That's the one black mark against this movie.
Yeah. So yeah, she throws his head up on the dock, and then she starts to float in the air for what is probably the coolest title card in the history of film.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, she's like floating up, and like on the horizon in red, this giant Evil Dead Rise is like coming up into the skyline. It's like, this is such a freaking amazing looking shot. But yeah, so then
it was an okay cold opening,
Yeah, I mean the title card itself is like the main
that's what saved it. The drone,
I mean,
that and the guy pulling the beer out of his pocket, which was a pretty sick move. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, that's pretty much all you see of these characters until later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it goes back a day.
A day, yeah.
So you're left wondering, how does that connect? Which is honestly, so I don't get how it connects either. So is the curse just like always gonna be in that like shitty little apartment?
Well, I guess the curse is like transferring from person to a new person, right? So my read on it is that because the records were played, that curse was freed, and when Beth destroys
the disgusting centaur monster,
the Rat King.
Yeah, I saw someone call it the Rat King. Is that really what it's called or something?
That's I think that's a good way to refer to it. Do you know what a Rat King really is?
No.
Okay, so this is like fucking disgusting, but a rat king. You can Google it if you want because the images are also kind of disturbing.
What the fuck?
It's basically a ball of rats that are tied together at their tails. I guess because when they live in swarms and stuff, their tails get all knotted together. So it's basically like they become one being.
What the fuck? I've never seen this shit. That's crazy. All right, I know what I'm gonna read for fucking like 30 minutes on Wikipedia.
Yeah, so that's why people call this a rat king, because it's like just three like deadites or whatever kind of mashed together.
I thought people were just like memeing or some shit. Like,
No.
I was like, they don't even really look like rats. Like, why do you call them a rat king? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. See, I'd seen Rat King thrown around before, but it wasn't until The Last of Us Part 2 that I actually looked into what a Rat King was. Because there's a creature in that game that you encounter called a Rat King.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, it's a bunch of infected, all like kind of like that, like it's amalgamation of like about a dozen infected or so.
Yeah, I like that kind of body horror. So I liked that last one. I know it's kind of jumping ahead, but I feel like fuck it.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I really like that last monster because I really like body horror like that. And I think they did it really good. That's like one of the only things that can like kind of unnerve me is kind of, you know, shit that's like mutated or is all mashed up and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean it is a cool looking creature, I guess.
Yeah.
But at this point in the film, we are kind of like back in like silly Evil Dead territory, right?
Yeah, towards the end of it, yeah, I could see where if somebody was saying it was jumping the shark or some shit like that, especially when she shoves it into the wood chipper and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But in the beginning, you know, so you get past like the cold open or whatever, and then you get to like where it's actually following the family. I do think there's a good stretch there where the movie is like genuinely creepy. You have a little bit of like kind of silliness, like when Ellie first gets infected or possessed, not infected.
Yeah.
When she first gets possessed, she's like just vomiting like way too much.
I do. Now that you mention it, I did think that when I was going into it, I thought they were going to kind of lean into the more creepy aspects, especially from what you see from like the trailers and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's really very actiony in this movie. It's not very, for lack of a better term, it's not very slow burn, you know?
Yeah, it's not slow burn, but that's what I'm saying. Like during the second act, that's when you get like the creepy horror type stuff. But outside of that, it's pretty much what you would expect from an Evil Dead movie, right?
Yeah, and I feel like the tension is kind of wasted on stuff like, I don't know, stupid stuff like the Jesus statue.
Oh, yeah, down in the bank.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, you could have had some tension built up in some better ways, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah, they could have. I will say, so, you know, we'll just jump in. We've already kind of talked about like the main family, who they are and all that, but
yeah.
So
this is something I wanted to ask you, but did you? And you might. I don't know if this is something that you would want to cut out. I'm not gonna be flippant about this, but I guess the son is supposed to be trans.
Is that the case?
I read it somewhere that was the director's intention or something, that they were supposed to be trans. I'm not sure, you know, kind of, I don't know how to say that, but you know what I mean. I'm not sure kind of what gender identity they currently have. I guess I guess it'd be female to male trans, but
yeah, I guess if that is the case, then yeah, that's what I assume. Because I didn't really pick up on that.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it either, but I thought that was interesting. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but it's in a way it's good that you can't pick up on it because really, like, just being trans isn't a personality.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that you know, the good kind of representation where it's not like fucking, you know, look what we put in our movie. Please watch our movie. Look how cool and good we are.
Right. But yeah. So let's basically jump to when after Ellie's infected. So I already kind of mentioned that she vomits, and that's like when she first wanders back after being possessed, or she's hit with the spirit camera. And they drag her to a
eggs too.
Oh yeah,
what the fuck is up with their bat? Like, do people leave their eggs out like that?
Thank you, because I thought it was weird too.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, why didn't she get it out of like the fridge?
Yeah. Well, there was something else we watched recently where there was just like a big ass basket of eggs. Oh, I think it was Scary Movie or Scary Movie 2. There was like a big ass basket of eggs on the counter. It's like, what is this?
Get the fuck out. That must be like some kind of European shit or something. Like, that's not something we do here in America. We leave them in environmental unfriendly styrofoam cartons in our fridge. We don't put them in fucking wicker baskets on our fucking counter.
Well, it depends on where you buy them, because now Kroger's gone back to like the old like recycled paper type cartons, which is better for the environment, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she does make the eggs. She's just like throwing the eggs in the skillet and like saying like, how she wanted to
wear her
cut them out
skin and shit.
Yeah, she wanted to like cut them open and crawl inside them so they could be a family forever, which foreshadowing, right?
Yeah, I love the little Deadite dialogue. I love how they're
yeah,
like
that is something. The Deadites have always been like that, right? But whenever this movie is like really deep and it's like I said, the second act is very horror centric, and it's deep in that, and then you get some of that Deadite dialogue. It's just like this doesn't. It kind of throws off the tone again.
Yeah. I don't think... I like the Deadite dialogue. I'm glad you brought that up because it's making me think about it. And I don't think that this movie uses the Deadite dialogue quite as effectively. Mm-hmm. I feel like, I don't know, the shit that they say... There's times when it's creepy, like the skin wearing stuff, but... Or
like, of course, the line... It was in one of the trailers, but when she's in the tub... And she like brings her head up out of the tub after falling down into it, and she's like, mommy's with the maggots now. Like, that is such a fucking good line.
Yeah.
But there's just something, I can't remember what the line is now, but it's like, how like Deadites like to call people like bitches and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's
the
very
Exorcist, bro. It's literally just the Exorcist.
Well, it's very it comes off very juvenile, right?
Yeah.
And when you're in the middle of a scene that's very horror focused and it actually has a real creepy tone to it, and then you've got like this juvenile dialogue, it just kind of, it doesn't play well together, I think.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is that I'm trying to think how you would be able to do it better and why it feels exactly like how you're describing it. Like in the first one, I don't know, maybe because it's an 80s movie or like a late 70s movie, like that kind of stuff feels still kind of spooky. But I don't know, I guess as a modern film, that stuff's not as shocking anymore.
Yeah.
To just be like, you little bitch and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't remember there was one line in particular that I was just like, kind of like, oh, this isn't a good line, but... and I don't mind them getting into that sort of territory later on after it's kind of like, all right, we're getting a little bit silly, Dead by Dawn.
Yeah, the Dead by Dawn was when I fucking, like I already said, I laughed. That was a goofy as fuck.
Yeah. That's the evil dies tonight moment for sure. Except you don't hear it for half the movie.
Evil dies tonight.
But yeah, so... They take her to a neighbor's house. She's presumed to be dead, and I was creeped out when Beth is sitting there talking to her, and her eyes just like pop open, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
And that,
thing.
Yeah,
and the little fly lands on her eyes.
Mm-hmm. And then she like looks over at her, like it's like, oh man. And then she like sits up or whatever, and she's like just staring at her. You kind of half expect something to happen, but that's when they take her to the tub.
Oh yeah, they definitely do kind of play with it. like your expectations a little bit there.
Yeah, she's just like sitting there staring, so you half expect her to like attack Beth or something.
Yeah, I like the way she kind of moves in the tub scene and stuff. Like when she's kind of like it looks like it's painful for her to move. Her like bones are breaking with each step.
Yeah, you mean after she gets out, she like walks.
Yeah.
After she gets out of the tub, right?
I remember the other funny thing. When she pokes her head around the corner from the bathroom. That shit's funny. I'm sorry, but that's funny. She like looks around. She's like, "Hello."
Oh, I did think it was like a little weird when she's got like the piece of glass or whatever that she's going to attack Beth with.
Yeah.
And she like kind of like she does like the sibling type thing, right? Where she's like jumps at her with it, like she's just trying to make her
fakes
flinch.
her out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of goofy too. Yeah.
But yeah, like I already said, the bathtub scene where she's talking, mommy's with the maggots now and all that. Like that's like genuinely creepy. And at this point, they've got like, from on the makeup side, they've got like the contacts in. So just like looking at her is unsettling.
Yeah, she was. They really did a good job with her makeup. The makeup really transfers over to her really well. Not so much like the daughter or anything like that.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, like when Bridget. Yeah, when Bridget becomes a Deadite, it's much less intimidating, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's why I think, like I said,
I
everyone
like
who saw a lot more. Most people who saw this movie. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Now you're good.
No, I was just going to reiterate that, like I said, most everybody who watched this really loves her performance as Ellie, or the Deadite version of Ellie specifically.
Yeah, she was really the big outstanding role in this, I think. I do like the little sequence where, God damn it, I keep forgetting her name. Is it Bridget? Is that the daughter? That becomes a Deadite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's like wrapped in the like sheet, and she's kind of like floating.
Yeah, it makes her look like a ghost almost.
Yeah, she
like
says, boo. Yeah, I really like that. That was a cool kind of sequence. Kind of creative.
Yeah. Oh, I know another. This is a Deadite line, like a really like Deadite-ass Deadite line that actually does kind of fit well. Is when she's sitting there eating the glass, and she's like, "I have." What'd she say? Something like, "I have creepy crawlies in my tummy that I have to get out."
Yeah.
It's like it actually fits, and it's much better than just calling someone a bitch or whatever. But before we talk about like when pretty much Deadites are just running around all over the place, Ellie gets lured outside because the neighbors open the door. So she goes outside and they lock her out, and Beth is watching through the keyhole or the peephole, and
man, they killed that kid, dude. That was fucked up. I didn't expect them to do that.
Yeah, like you don't. It's not often that you actually see kids being killed in. Yeah. So she basically kills all the neighbors that pop up earlier in the movie, and you kind of see it all play out through the peephole. The old guy like tries to shoot her, and then ends up getting dragged down. And Lance, I will say this because I don't think I brought it up on the recording. Lance, even though he couldn't be here recording with us, he did watch the film. He said that he didn't like the movie overall, but he said that he genuinely gagged at the eyeball scene.
Yeah.
Which also is one of those moments I'm like, biting the eyeball out of his head, it's like, okay, that's fine. But then when she spits it out and it goes down someone else's throat, I'm like, this is too much. Yeah, it's like, this is silly.
It is kind of goofy. Yeah, they play with the tone in this movie, and I guess that's something that we've kind of one of the big takeaways that we've kind of had on our discussion. And I don't know if it was. Would you say it's effective, like kind of what they're doing? I don't think it's as effective as it kind of was in like the first one.
I don't think it is. I think that
I think it works in
I've
the
already-
first one because the first one has like the budget of like a fucking cheese sandwich. So like, you know, it's like it's implicitly like a little bit goofy, but I don't know. I feel like it balances it a lot better in the old one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this one could have pulled it off, and I think I've already kind of said this a little bit, but it should have done a gradual transition into that tone, right? It should have leaned more into that horror and then just gradually gotten to like, this is what Evil Dead sort of has done before with like kind of like the goofiness and all that. Because I don't have a problem with it necessarily. I just think that there are too many times in the movie where it takes away too much from the scariness of it.
Yeah. And I don't remember if even in the 2013 they kind of played around with did they have
Yeah, you do have some of that, but I think it works. It's done better in 2013. Because you got like, you know, you've got like the scene where Mia is in the cellar, right? She's like peeking her head through like when she pushes the trap door up, and she's like talking to him and all that. That has some of that like dead-eyed dialogue, but it just, I think it plays better in the way that they did it in that film.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And I guess even from the trailers, like we were kind of saying, it feels kind of like tonal whiplash. Because from what I saw from the trailers, I'm sure you kind of feel the same way. I felt like they were kind of focusing in more on the horror aspect than the goofy Evil Dead aspect.
Yeah, and
I was surprised that this took
really
place in
got
an
me
apartment.
I like that. I like that they changed the setting, because I'd be just fine if we never saw another Evil Dead movie take place in a damn cabin in the woods. But I mean, I'll also be fine if we never see it get absolutely ridiculous again either, like Army of Darkness, where it's in a medieval time period castle or whatever. But I'm fine with that, but I do agree about the trailer. That's what had me so excited about it. I mean, I was excited anyway because it's a new Evil Dead movie, and I love this franchise, but it did really seem like it was going to lean into the horror, and it's because they pretty much only used like the pure horror moments in the trailers. Like, you know, like I said, the mommies with the maggots now is in the trailer, and there's a shot in the trailer where she's she's clinging to the wall above the bathtub.
Yeah, it's like they used all the good shit for like the trailer, you know, and you kind of get spoiled.
I don't entirely agree. Now, granted, I only ever watched like the first major trailer, because I've gotten to a point, and I'm trying to get better about, if there's a movie I'm interested in, I'll watch the first trailer and then no more. Because too many times, like especially when you get closer to the film's release, they'll start showing trailers that are like, you've basically shown me the movie. Why would I even bother watching it now?
Yeah.
Like for example, we were gonna watch Sinister, because neither Stephanie and I have not watched Sinister before, and but we watched the trailer for it first, and the trailer basically is just the movie. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we don't need to watch this then.
We already watched it. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't get any of like the silliness or like the Deadite dialogue. But they don't show every creepy aspect of it either. I think, because at least in the first trailer, like I said, I don't know about the rest of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember seeing most of the bathroom section. I remember seeing I don't know, something about the cheese grater. I remember hearing saying about that.
The cheese grater was in the trailer, because that became like on Twitter. I think if you did like hashtag Evil Dead Rise or whatever, the little emoji next to it was a cheese grater.
It wasn't even that like fucking crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's just the way that they framed it in the trailer. It's like, it just looks extremely painful, which I'm sure it would be. But like, yeah, in the movie, it's kind of like there and done, you know.
Yeah, just kind of like a quick little thing. I mean, the fucking if they would have put that little needle thing into the eye, that probably would have been a little bit more fucked up. But
yeah. But yeah. So like you said, Bridget becomes a Deadite while Ellie is in the hallway, and Ellie's locked out, right?
Yeah, she becomes a tentacle mouth monster or some shit. Well, that's what it shows in the pages, but she just gets like chocolate fucking coming out of her mouth and nose.
Well, I think, so she's got like blood or whatever, like pouring out of her.
I think that was a pretty good effect, if you ask me. I don't know, it looked pretty good.
Yeah,
she has some boogers.
Yeah, I agree. She's got to go take some NyQuil to get that runny nose.
Yeah, it's called Mucinex, bitch. Get a bottle.
But yeah, I think before she actually turns into a Deadite, Deadite Ellie is able to trick the youngest daughter, Cassie, into trying to open the door for her.
I'm glad that doesn't like. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of dumb in that typical horror movie way that she was going to open the door, but I'm glad it wasn't like a big thing. Like, you know, it just to add a little bit of tension. It didn't like make her come into the room because she was like, "I'm gonna open the door." It reminds me of I don't know if you've ever played the first Dead Rising like on the 360.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, do you know in the beginning when there's the old lady and there's the dog like behind the barricade?
Yeah, she opens the locked mall doors to get to her dog.
Yeah, it reminds me of that fucking shit. That shit just pisses me off.
But yeah, I guess it makes sense though that it's the youngest daughter that's doing it, right?
Because she is only like 4 or whatever.
So she's like kind of like not really entirely sure what in the world's happening here, and even though her mom is like covered in blood. But, you know, she does lie. She says, like, you know, I was just feeling off or whatever. And, you know, your father has come back, you know. And when she, like, walks up to the peephole and she, like, is looking through it with, like, her head down, she's got that big grin on her face. Mm-hmm. I think that's an awesome looking shot as well. Yeah. But, like, she's, again, really creepy. And, again, like you already said, I think the shape of her face plays very well to the with the makeup and like the Deadite look.
Yeah. She's just got a weird, creepy face. It's like me when I look into the mirror sometimes, and you can do like a really creepy smile, and then you can look kind of scary. And
then you're like, oh, I better stop this.
Like, I think I'm losing my fucking marbles in here.
And then you look up and you're still smiling at yourself. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, I'm in the fucking cheesy movie.
I'm in Smile. So yeah, you know, convinces her to open it. They keep her out. Bridget ends up turning into a Deadite, which, you know, is distracting. She attacks Beth. I think she's distracting Danny. Wait, is Bridget the one that does the cheese grater to Beth? Or is it after Ellie gets back in the apartment?
I thought it was Bridget, but now you've thrown me for a loop because I don't remember.
I think it is because Bridget attacks Danny in the kitchen, you know, with the sheet and all that. Because like she gets on top of him and like vomits all over him or whatever.
Yeah.
Vomits blood all over him. And then I think that's when Beth comes in and she, like, attacks her, and she gets up. She gets the cheese grater and drags it across her leg. Yeah. And they think that they've killed her like 2 or 3 times, like because the first time is when Cassie uses the weird baby doll head on a stick. Stephanie, uses her to like unintentionally like shove the pole through her back of her throat, and ayo, and
yeah, it did look kind of funny. Man, there's something else I need to bring up just real quick. Like every time they vomit up like the fucking white vomit, I laugh a little bit.
Yeah, that's again, that's one of those silly like Evil Dead things.
Yeah, did they do that in the old ones? I don't remember it being like white ass cum vomit.
I don't remember if it was that color, but I seem to remember there being a lot of vomiting throughout these movies.
I do, yeah. I remember vomiting like in some capacity, but I don't know. Making it white, it's just like, come on now.
Well, you know, at least it's not pea soup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I think. That's what it I mean, that's The Exorcist, but
Yeah.
shit.
And that's probably why they do it, right? That's why the Evil Dead movies do that in the first place, is because obviously The Exorcist was the first possession movie that
Yeah,
was really notable.
I guess they must have taken like a lot of influence, the first one, from The Exorcist. I don't know if that's something that they were watching before they made it or some shit, but
yeah. So yeah, Ellie does get back in the apartment because she hears the cat in the air vents. And she figures out.
I thought they were gonna kill.
Air vents to get inside.
I thought they were gonna kill the cat, and I was gonna be upset, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, me too. I thought all those same things.
So yeah, to anybody who's gonna watch this movie, there are no cat deaths, so please.
Yeah, there's no animal. I always hate it when there's like horror movies with an animal in it, like a cat or a dog. It's like, oh gosh, like you're 80% sure that something's gonna happen to it.
I don't know. I'm fucked in. I can live with I'm fucked in the head, so I can live with the dog, but the cats, I don't know. The cats always get me. Like, don't kill the fucking cat, bro.
It's like the first Conjuring movie. Minor spoiler for the first Conjuring movie for everybody, but like there's a dog with a family that moves into the house, and like it's killed on the first night. It's like, man,
I think,
but at least you don't see it being killed.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the thing about the dog thing is that I've seen movies kill dogs for shock value so much that it just doesn't even fucking faze me anymore. But I hardly ever see movies kill cats, and it's fucked up if I ever do see it. I hate that shit.
Well, have you seen Smile?
No. I've seen the monster at the end, and I thought it looked cool. That's it.
I mean, if you don't want to see something happen to cats, don't watch that movie. Watch that movie. It's fucked up. And I'll never pick it for this podcast because I did not like that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty. I saw it was a pretty goofy ass movie.
Yeah, I basically my general thought of it is, if It Follows was made in like 2004, that's basically what that movie is.
Yeah,
because mid 2000s overall pretty much sucked for horror movies.
It did. It straight up reminded me of like a mid 2000s or like an early 2010s movie.
Yeah. So once Ellie gets back in the apartment, that's like when things really start to go like all in action. There's a lot of like blood and gore. There's violence. They get out in the hallway. They get the shotgun. Danny is dead at some point. He's killed. Oh yeah, because he gets stabbed.
Yeah, he gets stabbed, but then he like crawls out or something. And I don't
know. He crawls out after he's turned, or possessed or whatever, because Beth and Cassie are trying to get out, and they, like I said, they get out in the hallway. They get the shotgun, and then Ellie is out there, and Beth shoots her leg off, and then she goes to shoot her in the head, I think, and the old man, who is now a Deadite, grabs her by the legs like, "That's my gun, you bitch."
Yeah, and that's one of the goofy lines that you were talking about.
Yeah, and so she accidentally shoots Ellie's arm off, and then she shoots the old man, I think.
Now she beats the shit out of him with the
that's
rifle
right.
butt.
That's right, yeah. And so Ellie's like basically on the ground because she's missing a leg. And they start to leave, and that's when Bridget and Danny come out, and then they start like tearing Ellie's stomach open because they're about to form the Rat King. So yeah, and then the final showdown is in like the parking garage. The Rat King shows up and is coming after them. Hopefully if you're listening to this, you've watched it, because I don't want to break down every little detail of this fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically it just ends with they're able to get, the Rat King is trying to drag her into, or put her in the wood chipper, and she eventually ends up being able to like force her force the Rat King down in there instead. So
pull the old switcheroo on him.
Yeah, and something I wanted to bring up, and we before we get to the final little bit of the story. Do you ever think of how unsettling it would be if this happened? Not only because, like, obviously this is happening, but the fact that these Deadites constantly refer to, like, people's souls being trapped in hell.
Yeah.
Because doesn't that kind of just, like, confirm everything? It's like, yeah, it's like, oh shit.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think about that too. Like, if you were in this kind of situation, I mean, that's what any good, I think, horror would do, is put you in their shoes. I don't know. I always think about it like funny, like what the fuck would I do? I'd probably just be like, man, I don't have any time for this fucking bullshit. I gotta go jack off. Go the fuck away. We're like, look, dude, I'm not looking for this fucking shit right now.
Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, Beth and Cassie are the only ones who live out of that entire family, and then we get somehow Jessica, who, you know, was the possessed girl in the beginning, for those who aren't keeping track properly, Jessica lives in the same apartment building and somehow is completely oblivious that anything was happening on the floor either above or below her, where shotguns were being blasted.
Yeah, earthquake. She sleeps through an earthquake, a shotgun, fucking a whole... How does she even fucking... So this is what I don't get. Alright, so she walks out of her apartment, right? I guess she doesn't see, like, all the fucking viscera and guts in the hallway, but she does when she's leaving.
Is she on the same floor?
I thought so.
It shows that she's on the 5th floor, but I don't remember if that's the same floor.
You might be right, I guess.
Because I think we are introduced to all the neighbors on that floor. You know, the 2 kids, the old man, and the I don't know, is he a preacher or something?
I don't know, just some religious guy, and his brother, I think.
But yeah, so they're all the people who live on that floor. But so she goes down. She notices in her rearview mirror when she gets in her car that there's blood all over the place. And when she gets out, the spirits are coming at her from 3 or 4 different directions. I'm not really sure. And that's how she gets possessed. So, you know, I guess you can connect the dots from there as how she made it to the cabin on the lake.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's the old setup. They have a lot of like Chekhov's gun moments in this movie. You know, where they're like, "Oh, I have my shotgun," and then you know there's going to be a shotgun in the movie. Or like I think earlier they mentioned the chainsaw, and you see like her doing the soldering iron, or not the soldering iron. I'm sorry. The solder gun or whatever the fuck, and you know that's gonna be a thing, and the scissors. I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw somebody mention that they thought that was kind of goofy, how everything had to be set up, you know.
Well, there are also things that they use that just didn't make any sense why they even mention them. Like when you first are introduced to the family, and gosh, I already forgot the daughter's name. What is the daughter's name?
Bertha. I don't know. Some with a B.
Bridget.
There you
go. When Bridget is first introduced, she's like talking about like, I told you months ago that I was going to this protest or whatever, and like, what does that even matter for this film? It has literally nothing
she's
to
a
do
rebellious
with anything.
teenager. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, I don't get that, but I never really have a problem with like Chekhov's gun moments, because if it was the other way around where they didn't show that something was that someone knew how to do something and then they all of a sudden did it, and it's not necessarily a common skill to have, people will be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How do they even know how to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I feel like I mean, I can kind of get behind what they were saying in a way. I don't think it's a big deal. But I don't know. I feel like there are moments where in this movie it kind of oversteps it, where it's like everything needs to be set. Like, I feel like you can kind of see where the director sat down and he's like, okay, I want a chainsaw, but it's in an apartment building, so I have to set up why the chainsaw's there. So I need to put this dialogue in this movie. You know, you can't use like, so I'm trying to think how to word this. in a movie that uses its environment a little bit more effectively, I think that's how you would say that. It's setting a little bit more effectively. It would probably just use shit that you would find like in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
but at the same time, there are certain things that they probably need to establish why they are there. Like,
yeah,
because
definitely.
the Deadite does grab the tattoo gun and starts and like that's uses its
I
own
guess it's
blood
a
or whatever.
tattoo gun or a soldering. I don't know what the fuck.
It's a well, when Ellie infects or whatever. I'm still not 100% on how Deadites work with that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's almost like they
it
get
doesn't make much
infected, right?
sense. Yeah, because doesn't
so
Ash
she-
gets like fucked up all throughout the movies
Oh
and
yeah,
shit,
and nothing ever happens to him.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But Ellie takes the tattoo gun and like shoves it in her cheek, or yeah, I think she shoves it in her face or whatever to get blood on it to like fill it with ink, because that's how a tattoo gun works. And then she goes for the eye or whatever, but ends up hitting Bridget's face. And then that's when you start seeing that stuff spreading on her face later on.
Yeah.
But if there was a random tattoo gun there, without first them showing you that Ellie is a tattoo artist, then you may be left wondering why in the world is there a tattoo gun just randomly in this apartment.
I think, like I said, in certain cases and instances that can make sense, but like setting up shit like the scissors, like I could feasibly see there just being scissors somewhere in that apartment. You don't need you don't need to have like a little section where we set up the scissors or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. It's just more common household items or whatever you probably don't need to worry about is just setting it up.
Yeah,
because I think almost every house in this country has freaking scissors. Somewhere.
I guess the ultimate point is that at a certain level you're setting up so many like weird stuff in this apartment that it feels a little contrived at by the end of it.
Yeah, I can see that viewpoint. So, is there anything else that you like to discuss about this movie before we?
Does this movie? So, how does this movie stack up on the amount of blood? Did it break any records or anything?
I don't think so. I think that the record may still be held by It Chapter 2.
Oh yeah. I just saw they tried to do the Shining thing with the elevator in this one, so I did.
Yeah,
I like it when it's filling up. That's kind of a cool little sequence. There's one thing I can think of that they set up, but they didn't do anything with it, and it's when the little girl says she doesn't like to be under the water. I can't think of any time where they do. I thought they would have done it in the elevator, but they didn't mention it.
So it seems to be conflicting. Sorry, there seems to be conflicting reports about the blood. So this movie used 6,500 liters of blood. The record for the most blood in any movie is actually Evil Dead 2013.
Okay, yeah.
It says that Fede Alvarez had claimed that around 50,000 gallons of fake blood was used in one day of shooting alone. And with some estimates saying that another 20,000 gallons was used for the rest of the film. The 50,000 gallons would have been for the ending scene where it's like raining blood and all that.
Yeah, and like the little Deadite guy goes into like the blood, he sinks into the blood swamp.
Yeah. I think that the reason I was thinking of It Chapter 2 is because at one point Jessica Chastain had claimed that a scene in that movie set the record for the amount of blood in a single scene.
Oh, okay. It beat The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining only used about 300 gallons of blood in the elevator scene. But there's a scene in It Chapter 2 where two of the characters are in these bathroom stalls and the bathroom starts filling up with blood. Like, to where like it's like they're standing on top of the toilets and like they're almost submerged in it. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Evil Dead 2013 seems to be, because thinking of it, Chapter 2, I don't imagine that it used 70,000 gallons of blood. So
It all floats down here in the blood.
yeah, in the blood, in the mud,
In the mud and the fucking blood, brother.
it becomes a trailer park guy.
Yeah. Man, it's all about it around here, man. Tell you what.
But yeah, so I think that pretty much covers this film, right?
Yeah, that's the plot for it. Evil rise tonight.
Evil rise tonight.
I don't know. I thought
evil raw bread.
Yeah, evil rise the yeast. I thought it was all right. It was okay. It was a good enough movie. I mean, it didn't blow my fucking mind or anything, but I mean, shit, it was all right. I feel like I have this thing where if I have like a neutral to like slightly positive outcome on a movie, I always tend towards the positive. So if I'm pretty neutral on the movie, I just always kind of edge positive because I'm just a positive guy like that, you know. I'm just a real positive guy. What can I say? But you know, I thought it was okay.
All right, would you recommend it?
Yeah, especially if you like horror, Evil Dead fan. Yeah, watch it.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't recommend it if I had to like pay money to go see this. I probably wouldn't have. But I don't know. For now, since it's on Max, not HBO Max, but just Max, I felt like it was an okay watch. It didn't waste my time.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I do like this movie. I like it more the second time around watching it. I forgot to say earlier that I did watch it when it was first put on Max, and then I watched it again this morning, which is my second time watching. So I did watch it. I did like it more the second time around. But I would recommend it. Like you said, if you're a horror fan, you should watch it. Unless you're just like a horror fan who's not really into like a lot of blood and gore.
If you like the slow burn, A24, gut wrenching type shit.
Yeah, this ain't it.
Yeah,
so
for
that,
you might want to look somewhere else if that's the case.
Yeah.
But
go to the theater and watch Talk to Me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. I guess we'll talk about what movies we got coming up next. I believe Lance's movie, and he can correct us on the next episode if this is wrong.
Well,
but I believe that his next movie is Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge.
The Revenge,
which is the animated movie, because they've started doing animated movies again. So there's that. Oh, and I'm guessing you haven't decided what your next one is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking I don't really want to do it because I know you guys don't really go for these kind of movies, but I reread the book that Full Metal Jacket is based on, called The Short Timers, and I fucking love that book. It's like one of my favorite books. I have the same feeling. I know how you guys feel about The Shining, like in Kubrick versus like Stephen King. I don't know so much about your opinion, Cody, but I know how Lance feels about it. You know, I know he's like he's kind of sour on the movie because of how much like liberties it takes from the book.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm a big Stephen King fan.
Yeah.
And also just kind of like reading about some of the shit that went down between Kubrick and King
Kubrick's a fucking
personally.
a dickhead. And that's something that I kind of want to go into on the.
Hey, if you want to do Full Metal Jacket, I'm completely down. I've never seen it.
Okay.
And I feel like it's one of those movies that's kind of referenced quite a bit. That
It might
I
be.
just don't have any.
It might be a good watch. I could see it. See, because sometimes you throw me for a loop for some of the shit you like. So I might be able to see you liking the first half. A lot of people have like this thing where they're like, "Oh, the first half's really good," and that's like the boot camp section because it has the boot camp section of the film is very. It's very what's the word I'm thinking of? It's very captivating. It's a very captivating part of the movie, and not because of like jingoistic like American shit. It's just like a really like, I don't know. It feels very dark. It's like it's a very mean part of the movie, and you know it kind of revels in kind of that meanness that it has. And then the second movie is the second part of the movie is kind of a little different. Like it's almost like never mind. But anyways, I wanted to, because I'd actually read the book, so it's going to be like one of the only movies I think where I've actually read the book too, and I love the book more than I like the movie, though I love the movie too. And there's things that Stanley Kubrick did to the original author of the book. The book's called The Short Timers. And he did some fucky things with him. Like the author didn't get a screenwriting credit, even though the like script for the movie is almost 1-to-1 the book. Just because Stanley Kubrick is like petty as fuck.
Yeah, if you want to do it, I'm down. Especially because even if I don't end up liking the movie necessarily, I think the behind the scenes Kubrick stuff is very interesting, regardless of the quality of how I end up liking the movie. So
yeah, I think I could probably do my homework with that, and I'll probably make, like I said, part of it like PSA. Like if you read books, read the book version of this because it's fucking great.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you like this episode, please subscribe, share, follow us on Twitter, like our page on Facebook.
Buy us a fucking coffee.
You know, if Twitter's even called Twitter still.
Yeah, go
reading today.
Go to our threads.
Elon Musk apparently is changing the Twitter logo to an X or some shit. I don't know.
That's cool.
So, I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know what's going on over there. Yeah, follow our threads, bro. That shit's already dead.
Is it really?
Yeah, nobody uses threads now. It was like a thing for like half a second.
Well, I was going to sign up for one until it was like, oh, you have to have an Instagram account. I was like,
Yeah, and I think to have an Instagram account, never mind. It ties to your Facebook if you use the same email, though, and shit.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So.
Well, anyway, we're not on threads. So.
Yeah.
But all right. We will catch you all next time for Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge.
And as Lance always says, finish him.